Paige, girl, what you doing? What you doing, girl? What you doing, Paige? Welcome back to my channel. It's JusMeLah, and in today's video, I am reacting to Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 17. It's Decision Day. Okay, so I'm not even gonna start with all of the other couples. I'm gonna go straight into the main event, Paige and Chris. I'll save everybody else for the end, and I will take about 5 minutes to talk about them. But Paige, sis, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? And quite honestly, I am not completely surprised, because when we last saw Paige and she was having her one-on-one therapy session with the short lady, what's her name? Dr. Pepper. When Paige was having her conversation with Dr. Pepper, the questions that she wanted answers to still made me feel like Paige was not completely over this. She just could not understand why this happened to her. Like, why did Chris behave the way that he did? She still wanted answers, and Dr. Pepper was like, yes, but that will not change that he's narcissistic. But Paige was hung up on that. So I'm reflecting on that previous episode to say that I'm really not surprised about what happened at Decision Day. I mean, Paige has been behaving this way throughout the season, where she gets a compliment from Chris, or he is vulnerable and shares his true feelings, and all of a sudden Paige has turned a new page and is ready to throw herself back into Chris's arms. I don't get it. Chris tells us that Mercedes had a miscarriage. I was like, oh my gosh. And then at the same time, which is terrible because it's a miscarriage, that is an unfortunate event. But Chris is such a liar, such a manipulator, that I felt like, and did she really have a miscarriage, or was he just saying that? Because conveniently, when he got married, he found out she was pregnant. And now that it's Decision Day, she's no longer pregnant. So part of me was like, okay, did you use this pregnancy as a way to get out of your marriage? And now that it's Decision Day, are you now telling us that she's not pregnant so that you're just free from it all over again? Then I also wanted to know, why does Paige continue to comfort Chris? Like, he is not your responsibility. You are not obligated to make sure that this man is okay emotionally. He had no regard for your emotional state at all when he was in this process with you. I just can't get over it. I get that she's an empath and all of these things, but sis, you need to draw some lines in the sand. You need to have some boundaries, because this is not it. You can't be comforting your abuser. Anyway, Chris sharing that Mercedes had this miscarriage now has Paige's mind doing gymnastics, because she's wondering or thinking, what if there was no pregnancy? Would things be different? It's just like, that's what you got from that information? That the reason this marriage ended was purely because he had a child on the way? What about the fact that he called you ugly every chance he got? That he wasn't attracted to you? That there were beautiful black, brown, Spanish, Asian, white women all over Atlanta that he could have been matched with, but they chose you? And again, maybe she didn't hear all of this information, because we are hearing this in these personal one-on-one sessions. But he definitely told her that he wasn't attracted to her. And she definitely knows that he used her. And so that was before she found out that he had a child on the way. Then I said, why isn't she recognizing that this is the same thing Chris has been doing all along, which is playing with her emotions? He's still doing it up until Decision Day, and she's falling for it. So Chris leaves because he's so upset about the miscarriage. And this is not my reaction to there being an actual miscarriage, but just his antics. So Paige goes after him. Okay, they're in the car talking. I disagree. But they come back, and Chris begins to speak for both of them. I said, wait, why are you speaking for the both of them? He tells the experts, we are undecided, that they can't make a decision about Decision Day. And Chris is speaking for the both of them. I was like, what in the world? Then Viviana jumps in and she's like, hold on. I cannot sit back and watch this take place. She says, you're doing this to play with her emotions. I was wondering why Pastor Cal was intervening it seemed that he was trying to stop Dr. Viviana from having this back and forth with Chris. I wonder if that is some violation of their contract or a violation of the ethics of this entire experience, that you are purely here to advise, not to sway decisions. I was just wondering, because I felt like, let her say what she needs to say. Somebody needs to save this girl. So now Paige is just overwhelmed with emotion. She gets up, she leaves. It's too much for her to handle. And I'm like, why is Chris going after her? Leave her alone. And then here is his manipulation and control. She's crying. He comes in. He's like, are you done? Do you want to leave? Telling the producers then to take her mic off for her. Like, we out of here. I'm like, you are not her husband. I mean, technically you are, but you jumped ship long ago, left this girl on her own, said that you wanted to be divorced, and now you're acting like it's your job to cover her and to speak for her and to protect her. It's like, no. Mind your business. This is not the time for you. But again, it just showed his manipulation and his control. And I was very glad that Paige asked to speak to the producers. And I was happy that she was able to do that without Chris, because, you know, it just felt like she needed to be away from him. And I was so grateful that Paige had that. And she had people that she could really sit down and speak to. And I enjoyed that the producers asked her questions like, were you sure when you came in? Okay, so if you were sure and 100% about your decision, why do you want to go against what you decided to do? And I think that may have highlighted to her that it's him who's manipulating you. Like, if you already assessed the situation, you processed it all, and Paige had the most time to process it. Like, Paige saying, oh, you know, we didn't really get to explore all our options. We didn't really get to take advantage of this true process. There's still questions. What if this? What if that? I'm like, no, what if nothing? For me, it's like, Paige, where is your love for self? Like, I'm like, there's love that's missing, you know? Like, there's no way that you are being fully supported and loved and you would go back to, not even stay in because you left, but you would go back to a situation like Chris. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And I was speaking to someone about it, and they said it's like Paige wants to be validated by Chris. It's almost like she has something to prove that, no, see, this man actually does like me. He actually does think I'm beautiful. He actually does want me. He desires me. He thinks I'm attractive. See, you guys, look, I won. At the end of the day, he does want me. She wanted redemption, okay? She wanted to be able to say, I got the man at the end of this. He really does want me. But that is not the victory at all. So that was mostly it. It was Paige and Chris and just the, like, craziness of that. And then even at the end, when all of the couples had their final powwow and they updated one another about what their decisions were around staying married, and Chris comes late. I said, Chris always wants to make an entrance. The way Paige was so happy to hear him reconcile or admit his wrongdoing as it relates to Eric and whoever else he offended or had confrontation with, I was like, sis, he is not your responsibility. You have no feeling about how he grows and rights his wrongs. Like, she was smiling and was like, I'm so happy that, why? Let go of Chris. He's not yours, okay? He's for the streets, as they say. And then when they were exiting, she, again, is having this friendly banter with him. And it's just like, I'm so happy that this ended this. Whatever she was saying, it's just like, you do not befriend your abuser. Like, you do not befriend the person who mistreated you. You know what I mean? Like, he's done you so wrong. The fact that you're having this friendly interaction with him is just like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. I said Paige still has hope for the future, and I will not be surprised if on the reunion we find out that they're still together or that they've been messing around. It's like, Paige, you can't find somebody else. There are other men in these streets. Like, that was Paige and Chris on their decision day. They decided not to be together. Actually, we only heard her say that, you know, she does not want to continue on in this marriage. So now for the other victims, I mean, the other couples, I was happy for none of them. I could care less. Clara and Ryan, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, the only thing that I was happy about was that all of the couples had the same decision. So there wasn't anyone who said, I want to stay together, and the other person said, no, I don't. So that was the only good thing. Haley and Jacob, you all know I was rooting for them, but ultimately they decided, I don't want to do this. I said Haley looked cute in that dress though. And also, I said, Haley is young. She doesn't need to settle. I mean, not that anybody needs to settle, but if you're Jacob, like he said in the previous episode, it's like, do I really want to hit these streets again? Do I really want to be out here dating again? Haley is not so bad. We can make this work. So I definitely understand somebody being at a place in their life where that is the decision they make with that kind of explanation. But Haley's young. She's 20 something. She's a cute girl. Sis, get back out there and make it happen. Eric and Virginia, I was like, I didn't like that she didn't get to say her final words. So they asked him first what his decision was. And he said he wanted to stay married. And then they go to the other couple, typically the other person, and ask them what they want to do. But in this situation, Eric went first. He said, yes, he wants to stay with her. And then he got down on one knee and proposed to her. And then she said yes. And I just felt like she was robbed of an opportunity to say her piece. And I feel like he almost like led her into her decision to say yes. You know, it was like a leading question. And I didn't like that. I wanted her to be able to say her piece. And I felt like, what if she wanted to say no? I mean, obviously she could still have said no. And ultimately, I do think that Virginia was going to still say yes on decision day. But I still wanted her to have that moment. Like, let her have her moment. Why do you always have to control everything? He could have proposed to her after she said that she wanted to stay with him, right? My point is, I disliked that she didn't get her moment. I didn't like that he proposed to her immediately after he expressed what he wanted to do. I feel like he should have said his piece, then giving her the moment to say her bit. And then once she said, yes, I want to stay married to you, then I feel he should have gotten down on one knee. The last couple was Brianna and Vincent. And I was like, okay, I really have nothing written down for them. So that was it. That was my reaction to Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 17, Decision Day. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you come back next week for my reaction to the reunion of Season 12 of Married at First Sight. It's JusMeLah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Peace.